and not poo-poo people about it. We're like, don't you get sick of it when people say you're not even supposed to be here today? You know what? I embrace it because it's the way it is, or someone screams, hey, try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot. That's the world. That just so happens to be the world that I live in.
Hey, but hold on. I'm going to let Positive Perry here wants to have a question. But I got to say, doesn't it resonate to the fact, too, that in today's day and age, in my eyes, as fucked up as society is, to sort of teach it coming back around that if you persevere through, and then it's the lessons right there. We're getting back to, like, fashion comes back around. Like, people want to see something else. And I think that's why Clerks resonates, because it's so real. Because I walk into 5 different liquor stores or convenience stores, and 3 of them got Dante in there, but it might be, of different things. And I think that when people in this day and age get off their phones and take a minute to have a conversation, that's what they find. So I commend you.
Man.
Perry, you had a question?
I agree, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it is that people. It's a role that still resonates with people because you've either worked a really shitty service job or you've been in a store with really shitty service. So
that's for sure.
It relates on either side of that one.
It's timeless.
Hey, Brian, I've got a question for you. Have you ever skated or played any hockey, or have you had any other involvement with hockey other than being an owner of a comic book team?
When I was a kid and a young teenager, we used to do street hockey in my neighborhood, and then we did some on an ice rink in Old Bridge, New Jersey. But for the most part, it was street hockey, and I was a goalie for the most part. I had all the equipment. As a matter of fact, I still have equipment back in my mother's house where she's like, are you ever getting rid of this stuff? I'm like, no.
Hey, Brian,
go ahead. Who'd you pretend to be? Who were you? Were you Eddie Jackman? Gump Worsley?
Oh, that's funny. You nailed it right on the head, my friend. Eddie Jackman was my favorite player. So.
Look at Perry, Positive. You just pumped up Positive Perry's tires for another. Exactly. He's getting kudos in here. This smile. Now, you can't see it, but... the thing about Perry is that no matter what he does, the ladies love the smile because he's got all teeth, so it works. It works out.
I'm Irish Catholic too.
So what is, let's talk hockey for a little bit. You still paying attention to the NHL playoffs?
Yeah, I actually literally have the game on while I'm talking to you.
Well, I literally have the game on while I'm talking to you, bro, so it's like we're holding hands while we're interviewing. 0-0.
The 2 owners are supposed to hate each other. Come on.
We can get there.
That's only on the ice, right?
Yeah. Wait, do you have a front runner? Are you either cheering for somebody or... Because I have, I'll let you know, I got San Jose because after they won that 7th game, I told the boys, I said, they're my fate runner, not my front runner, my fate runner.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely the team with the most heart right now, going through all those games like they did. I'm shocked at the shutdown that the Boston Bruins are putting on the Hurricanes here. I thought that was going to be a game-for-game kind of series. But good on Boston for able to get through it. Although, as much as I love an Original Six team, the city of Boston has had enough with the winning, okay? You've gotten the football.
Is that a bitter New Yorker? Win. Is this coming from a bitter New Yorker?
Well, yeah, that's the little New Yorker in me, but still.
Well, we don't understand because, you know what football championships are. Boston does too. We got no freaking clue. I mean, we could take, some of the hockey. We'll take the hockey stuff over here a little bit, but
we have a football team.
Yeah, I said, we got that. We got that going for us, bro.
Yeah, and so when I see these last 4, I wouldn't mind seeing a St. Louis Boston kind of lineup, only because that's like an original kind of 12 kind of lookout. Although for so many years San Jose has been so close and has failed and is so close and has failed that it would be like, the underdog kind of heart goes out to see Burns win it and those guys Thornton and all those guys really put their heart and soul and bodies on the line on this one that if they were to win it, I would be cool with that too. I mean, all the teams that are in the Final Four have shown some really strong effort at this point. So we'll see.
I like it. That's also too. Have you? There's a movie out there called The Russian Five, which is sort of it's a documentary on how the Russian Five was put together and all our championships. And the thing that I love about it, I've seen it 3 times, is that it's 100% real. And the best part is because if you're aware at all that the accident that happened after we won the cup in '97 to our star defenseman Vladimir Konstantinov that almost ended his life and put him into a wheelchair and vegetable. Well, at the premiere, I talked to his daughter and I asked her how many times he's seen the movie, and she said, I don't know, he just keeps watching it. It puts him in his happy place, and at the end of the movie, he's singing the song. So something that's created to, maybe give everybody a little bit of a smile and for a bad time after all these years. Have you seen that at all, or have you heard of it?
No, I haven't. I'm going to have to look that one up.
You will, dude, because I think what's important, too, is that what I got from it is, man, it wasn't easy. Like you said, it just reminded me when you're talking about San Jose and going through what we did before we won in 94, 95, 96. And then with everything else. And also, too, is that we loved what you got from it is that no matter who it was, where they were from, what language they spoke, beside you, that person loved that other person next to him. And I think that really shone through the best of times and the worst of times that happened, back to back, and to be able to win, and have Vladdy out there. It's really, as a personal piece, I implore any of your friends or yourself to look for it, because it's starting to get some national attention.
I believe it's starting in Newark this weekend. Over in New Jersey. Brian, what's your thoughts? What's your memories of Mac as a hockey player?
I'm sorry, what was my memories of what?
Of Darren as a hockey player.
Well, the Red Wings and the Rangers, we're talking the late 90s, mid-90s, and into the early 2000s. The Rangers didn't go far with it. Detroit was hockey town. Detroit is hockey town even to this day. I mean, you guys always came in and kind of kicked our asses pretty steadily.
It was,
but also Darren held his own, man. Darren was a bit of a rough and tumble kind of guy. The hits that he would put on guys were huge. And then, he was a bit of a finesse. He had a really great finesse about him. So, the McCarty, you didn't take him for granted. Between that and Yzerman and all these guys that came in, and you guys had an incredible goaltender behind you in all those years. So there was no taking Detroit for granted ever. The past couple of years, it's been kind of back and forth, whether you thought they were on a big rush and they were going to make the playoffs, but then it's been kind of weird. And then with the coach leaving and going to Toronto, and with the whole shakeup of the whole team in general, you guys are in the same boat as the Rangers are in this rebuilding year, and hoping the farm league and the draft will bring something off and out. And I'm hopeful with that. I mean, we lost our coach when we got rid of Vigneault, and so we'll see what happens.
Well, you forgot the fact that in this town, the balance has been restored, because we have Steve Yzerman back as our GM. So no matter what, it's the proverbial things are going to be all right around here. We don't know what it means, but our ship's in the right hands. I wish you best of luck in New York, and I look forward to thank you for your time. I look forward to working on this and seeing how evil of an owner you are, Brian, but a big fan, and safe travels across the pond.
Well, thank you, and keep up all the good work you're doing with your foundation, and I definitely look more to talking some shit with you about this comic book soon to come.
Oh, absolutely. As the one thing that I like is Dom's a go-getter, and he's going to be putting these things together. So soon enough, we're going to see how heavy these heathens roar. So look forward to it, Brian.
We're definitely going to get the fan base to do the old. Let's go Heathens.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
Let's go Heathens.
For sure. That's all about it. All right, bro. Thank you. You bet.
Thanks, Brian.
That was Brian O'Halloran, the owner of the Hell's Kitchen. What are you trying to?
Hell's Kitchen Heathen.
We got to work on our. Jesus.
Max,
Sorry, I didn't
Max
know.
trying-
No, we got to work on our commute. No,
I didn't know this was the whole thing. It's almost not even.
Hey,
that way he
I
doesn't
almost
lose
spit
it.
all over my computer, so I put it down.
All right.
I got my glasses, which, by the way, you may laugh, but I haven't lost a pair in a month. Thank you, baby.
Or I haven't had to go find them.
Someone get Stevie a copy of Donnybrook.
No, the picture. See the Batman signal is 19.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about Steve. You had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Dude, I like that.
Yeah.
You got to send.
I'll send it to you.
Send it. Yeah. Send it to Perry.
Got it.
Yeah.
All
Brian's
right,
great.
So yeah, Brian's great. Being the owner and obviously doing things with clerks. And if you look at his IMDb and to see how the you know what, I'm gonna have to get like glasses for the show. What a fucking dog.
Oh my God! He's trying to take his
Oh,
glasses
man,
off.
dude,
His
it's
headset
just-
falls.
All right, what I wanted to say is what you see is the things that stand the test of time, are real things and real characters. And I think what you said there is that Kevin Smith, who Silent Bob, writes the characters to the times, and these guys care about each other. And when you tell me that guys that you're wondering, because I always people always ask me, well, what's it like in the dressing room, or what's it like, for winning? And, like I tell everybody, yeah, we really did love each other. I mean, but it was like a band of brothers, and, sometimes you'd be pissed at your brothers, and sometimes you'd be mean to your brothers and shit like that, but
Right.
it didn't matter. But it stands the test of time. If they can't get through doing a movie and then start laughing because they enjoy their company, that's what I preach. And the self-awareness, I think, that he has over everything, and the fact that they're back, it's a whole new generation that gets to enjoy not only the past but the present like we do. So,
Well, you know what? I think it's a good time to give you the gift I got for you. You're the first person to get a Donnybrook poster signed by all the owners.
shit, yeah, we're gonna have to frame it. Yeah,
Brian O'Halloran, Darren McCarty, Dom Reggio, and Brandon Inge.
Dom's
He
been
just sent
working
it.
on his Zetterberg signature since he was a fucking kid. Look at that. Oh,
really
nice. We're gonna have to.
Get that
I'm
frame.
gonna have to get that
Yeah,
framed.
that's great.
That is a great one.
Actually, might have one that'll fit it.
Yes.
That's. I think the biggest thing is, Dom, like you said, when you were going to come out with a hockey book, a hockey comic book, and people are like a little, but you came up with the perfect. I mean, this is what you talk about: hockey fights, Donnybrooks, and you can go with that, and obviously.
Well, tell them the selling point. Tell Perry, the people at home, the selling point to me is what, because you needed substance.
Right.
So why did you come to me with this? Because let's go back to before we got Brian on the phone. So you've gone through, what is it called?
Arcane Awakening?
I can never, Arcane Awakening. I'm going to blend it into my brain. I'll have to figure out what strain I'm going to put it to.
All right.
But into Donnybrook, because it was obviously the artist. So you had the belief, the self-awareness that you might have something, or maybe you don't. But as long as the right people believe in you or get behind you, so you had that opportunity. And then you got it to a point where you created, because you'd done that already.
Right.
Right? This is the first issue.
Yeah.
You've gone through it, and then you found out, right? So tell everybody how you got to my door.
Well, I'm looking at this, and I was like, what this needs is some authenticity. I wanted some real stories to have these characters adapt. So when I met with Matt, I kind of had a cheat sheet before I met you. Like, I knew you were a nerd from back in the day. I was
Why? Back at that, because it doesn't matter on these Comic Cons or whatever. See, I'm a jock nerd.
Right.
You don't have to be like jock nerds, like you see them all the time. I mean, I see the Fortnite commercials and stuff. I don't do that, but I like the Star Wars, and I'm a jock my favorite comic book was Spawn. I got to meet Todd McFarlane, got to get all that stuff, and I was into that series and stuff like that.
Right.
Everybody's into different sort of things. So you knew I was a nerd, and I take that as the greatest compliment from a comic book
there's
guy.
nothing. Yeah, there's
like Perry. If I was being mean, Perry, like I used to be, but now I've changed.
Yeah.
Like, and I said, like, you're a nerd, like that would be like in a bad way.
Right.
But you're not a nerd.
No. I mean,
I got one.
Yeah.
Did you catch a gold? What is it? A Cocha?
Chocobo.
Chocobo.
Yeah.
Did you get one?
Did you get it? Okay.
I told him I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had to find out. I think we were all wondering that.
Oh, yeah, no, I ended up doing. They sent me the email, and it took me a while, but I think I sent back that I finally got one.
So
Took about a week, though.
when I went up to Mac, I'm like, I know you got
good job,
stories, and you're from that era where there was rookie initiations and there was hazing and all in good fun, where they don't really do that anymore. I know the kids tell me that now, like, oh, we don't really do that, but I want that in this book. You know, it's like that should be preserved and there, and we, you know, no one is going to get in trouble because he might have. Okay, I remember when so and so did this and so did this. Nope, these fictional characters are going to recreate it for everybody.
Yeah.
And man, like that's. Like it just feels so real and honest. It's an honest portrayal when you do it that way, I think.
Right, and so you brought, obviously that was our conversation. And,
Yeah.
and in that you said, well, I have the first one and read it and I liked it, obviously, and saw where I could help out. And then, but you've had this big plan. So
Yes.
you know, here's the thing is that I want people to understand as they're listening to this too, as Dom made his first steps, you're going to have to learn to embrace the suck.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, with your first goal, you're going to have dreams or whatever. It's like I tell Boogie all the time, or I tell Perry, I say, write it down. Okay?
Uh-huh.
It may not be a good idea right now, but put it off to the side because it might be a good idea later. Right? So you had to, and I encourage people that nothing that you want to work for or believe in, you know, if the intentions are pure, can work out. So you've got yourself to this point. And then, because you had a bigger picture.
Right.
So you came to me with, you had to get in your eyes view, you were planned. Right. You had stages, you had questions, you had to get from, so the lesson here, and I want people to listen and understand, is that the best, what have you put in to get out? It's about hard work and plan your steps. And so explain upon that, because step one was talking to me about the stories to expand.
Right. And, you know, then I've obviously said, you know, you could own one of these fictional teams in the book. And then you want to talk about the life story book? Is that where you're going to?
No.
We're still with Donnybrook?
No, we're staying with Donnybrook.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, you know what I think would be cool is if you had an opportunity to be a 5-time champion, you could be an owner of your own fictional team in the ILHA.
And the nerd in me went, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Wait a sec, because
Yeah.
are you kidding me? I mean, like I look behind me and I love all these guys and I love all those 4 cups and stuff, but we're talking about getting, you know, here's the thing, don't be afraid to step into other worlds that you look into, but surround yourself with the people that can lead you and lead you intently. You know, Boogie's helped me that way into cannabis and educating to help me help myself. You in the book. So to be able to get that, that's like getting drafted almost. You know, I didn't want to make a big deal of it, but I had to hear it out. So
it was a good gateway for you. Yeah.
And then we got the Burnaby Blazers.
Yes. These jerseys, incredible jerseys, were made by your former guest, Stalls. We have to,
Great
They're
guy.
not my former guests. Say hi, Paul, again. Hey, question. Gonna have you on. They are Stalls. They are family. That's the family that they put it up. The
banners.
Stalls Custom Printing. You need anything printing.
So I thought it was
those
a good gateway. You know, you want to get into comics, but it's all, you know, it's a familiar territory for you. You know hockey, obviously, and you know this. And each of these teams, like with Brian O'Halloran and Brandon Inge, and you, a little bit of each of these guys, these athletes or actors, the teams are going to take on their characteristics a little bit. Like you came to me with it like a day later, and you're like, Dom, this is what my team's going to be.
Bunch of pot-smoking lumberjacks from BC, because the endocannabinoid systems are just that's why they're so healthy. I mean, it's just what I've learned. I want to own a bunch of, you know, CBD putsy. I'm going to keep them off. I'm going to keep them on the CBD until after the game. They can get as high as they want after the game. We have different rules in Canada. It's all legal up there.
Right. I was
I'm
dying.
here in Michigan. No, but like you said.
You told me the whole concept. I put the phone down and laughed for like 2 minutes.
And it didn't take him anything to
So
even know that concept.
so then Brandon Inge, the
Yeah.
former third baseman catcher, Tigers love Brandon.
Yes.
What a great guy. Actually, he sent me a picture today.
You named this team too, pretty much. Do you remember?
Yeah. Well, dude, see, that looks like Inge too. You little redneck. That's what the Lynchburg Moonshiners, because
Yeah.
that's what he's like from Lynchburg. So I said, you fucking moonshiner.
Right.
Yeah,
Lynchburg,
no shit.
Virginia. Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. So it was on the ice at my charity hockey event, and it was hilarious. I'm in the middle of this conversation, but I can't believe this is happening. He just says, "Where are you from again, Brandon? Lynchburg, Virginia, with a bunch of freaking moonshiners." I was like, and Brandon's like, "That's the name of my team. That's what we're going
there.
with."
Ding, ding. That's funny.
So what do you got?
I got this is for you too. A Lynchburg Moonshiners signed by Brandon Inge.
All right, he can flip me off if he signs me off. All right, Benji, you're lucky, kid. You're lucky.
Yeah, I saw him earlier today. It was great.
Yeah, I like.
He was fired up. He had the jersey on. He was like, "This is great."
Oh, he was wearing the jersey too?
Oh yeah. But he took a picture flicking off Mac. He's like, "The fuck the Burnaby Blazers."
I like it. Trash talking among
Yeah.
A little trash talking.
I love a hockey league where the owners chirp each other all year.
that little
Like,
love fest that him and Brian had just.
That's gonna be the last
ago.
time.
Yeah.
No,
This is
that's
history.
professional love.
Right.
No, we're not
that's
talking
right. Yeah.
about this. Is
The
nothing
game.
to
They're
do
right.
with
The game
nerds.
hasn't.
No,
off
the
the
nerds.
ice.
Hey, the nerds haven't combined yet. Bam even knows that. He taught me that back in the business. Yeah, so that leads us. So that's where we're at, and obviously you got the first issue, working on the second.
Yeah.
Trying to get everything coming together. Now this weekend, you'll be at Suburban
Yeah, Motor City Comic Con.
Motor City Comic Con at
Yes.
the Suburban Show Place.
30th anniversary. 30 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they dress up and everything for these things.
Oh
huh?
God,
They
yeah.
get crazy in it.
Yeah.
Because my wife's really into the Harry Potter shit, right? So
Yeah.
and they really go crazy with that. So
Yeah. This will be my 5th
I think
year.
I think the kids call it cosplay.
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 Yep, that's right.
That would be
That's
the
right.
term.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
I know.
Yeah.
he's getting all the lingo down.
He's
and
an old
everything.
pro. He's an old Comic Con pro.
So
Were you
so-
just at the one out at Novi a couple weeks ago at the Sheridan?
It's this weekend.
Well, they had one a couple weeks ago out at Sheridan Hotel in Novi.
I
You
don't
weren't
know.
part of that one, so
No,
this is
it's all jobbers. I don't do that.
okay. I just wondered what the. I mean, yeah. 'Cause, I
What's
mean,
your job? What's your job?
Small time. Small time.
Oh,
a little
job.
small.
okay. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
He's in the big leagues now.
well, of course he is. He's sitting at this table.
That's
Well,
right.
You don't get to
Yeah.
sit at
So
this
I
table
only
unless you're in
speak
the
the
big
truth.
leagues. I got it
Yeah.
called up. Anyways, did you have a question about Donnybrook before I move on?
No, move on.
Okay. So, which led to obviously comic books, so being a nerd, into our conversation of graphic novels and
Right.
whatever, to reading my book, My Last Fight, True Story of a Hockey Rock Star.
Yeah.
You said to me,
This needs to be a comic book. This story is awesome. This is all over the place. And I was just like, there's so many reasons I want to do this. I didn't even know. I think I was stumbling over my words a little bit, like where to begin with all this. And we got Billy on the phone.
no, we're getting them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, there was so much. I mean, I don't know of another hockey rock star, comedian, all these different things that are part of his life. It's so unique. And it's just, obviously if you've read his novel, that there's some wild shit in there that I was like, I could already envision the pages in my head and wanted to do this. And I think Mac was really into it too.
Well, I was too, because of the completion factor that we could update it to get to the end of what you said. Because the big thing is that what I realized in writing a book, and God bless you, Kevin Allen, I love you, brother, who is the perfect, the total opposite of me, but the perfect person to write my book to get me to where I am, which is part of the healing for me. But I look at the epilogue, and I wrote it 5 years ago. So
Right.
when Dom came to me, it was like, and because I could put more of my style to it. So
Right.
when and just so people know, he's got it done. So it's one of these things that I'm still running through. But it was also too is that what you could provide, what you could show as far as ideas you had towards this. So not only recreating, for me it was because I could tell the story up to date.
Right. And it was, not only that, we're going to update that story, and it was going to be a love letter to the best time in Red Wings history, in my opinion, and everything that was going on back then. There's little things that when I did my research, I forgot. Remember the little Red Wing flags on all the cars that everyone had, and there was all that little culture that was going on. I'm like, man, how did I forget about that cool thing?
See, I love this. And the different things was when you said that guys that would be excited or interested not only in the story but to tell my story, right, and through different things. But I'm gonna touch on something.
What are you about to read out of?
Yeah, I'm reading out of. This is never before. This is part of. We haven't even named it yet, have we?
No, we haven't named it yet.
No, there's not a name to it, but it'll be correlation. But this is what I can just see, and this is what I love, and I picked this passage.
This is the comic book script
for your comic book script for my graphic
life
novel.
Story,
and it has my voice saying about joining the Essex County Fight Club, right? Which is Essex County, if you know, is a county I belong, where Leamington's in, right? Which I talked to Dom, and I think he so apropos said it, because I could just see it. Mac voiceover continued. You have to get into a fight in one of your first 5 NHL games. I barely made it when I fought Bob Rouse in my 5th game, because he high-stick probed me in the head in Maple Leaf Gardens. Mac is pummeling Bob Rouse and skates off the ice, having the other guys congratulations and pats. Dude, that is so apropos.
Yeah. See, I didn't know if you were going to like that. This is the first time.
Oh, dude. I had to read that because that nails how that is as far as to explain that side of it.
Yeah.
Now, let me introduce my next guest.
Yes.
And this is an honor to have him, not only a hockey fan, but this guy's world-renowned. And, bro, thank you very much for stepping into this project with us. This is Mr. Billy Tucci. How you doing, Billy?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Finally nice to be able to get you on the show and talk about trying to make Dom's words from my head into people's pictures the way that you've done so well over your career, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And I got to tell you, it's a real privilege talking to you. And I talked to Dominic, and, he knows I'm a huge fan of yours. So,
well, tell me a little bit. Let's tell the grind time obvious with Darren McCarty about where you're from and your hockey love. Give me some Billy Tucci growing up hockey love. Who your hockey guys were? Who broke your heart? Are you a Ranger guy or Islander guy?
Fuck it, no. I'm an Islanders fanatic,
bro. So
no, I can't curse. So sorry.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can curse on my show, bro. You don't fucking. That's for ESPN and all the other shit. You're not fucking like I tell Aaron all the time. Are we here? He said, "Can we smoke here?" No. And I'm like, "Are we here?" Yeah. Fuck. Let's go.
If you don't curse, you get an invoice.
Yeah. it's opposite. I'll fine you for not being real.
So speaking of heart, who broke your heart? I'm still reeling from 2 weeks ago when the Islanders lost, 4 in a row to fucking Hurricanes, and I just can't believe it. And even though I hate Boston, it would be kind of sweet to have them sweep Carolina.
Well, that's what you got. That's what you got to offer. That's what you got to hope for when you get your guts blown out, because I didn't see it coming after that first round.
You know what it was, and like I said, the officiating has just been horrible. I know we're supposed to talk about art and comics and all, but like I said, I'm a hockey nut, so I just think the officiating killed them in the first 2 games, and they dominated both those games, and just the goals that were called back, and just penalties that weren't called, and they just got screwed, and they just didn't recover. Even Game 3, they won. They disallowed Devin Tays' goal. We saw that. He kicked it. He kicked the puck. It was a rebound. It kicked it from behind the net. It wasn't. It wasn't intentionally kicking it into the net, and it went in.
But you're not bitter, though. Really, you're not bitter, are you?
What's that?
You're not bitter though, are you?
No, I'm real bitter. Oh yeah.
Dude, now let me ask you
But,
this. Let me ask you this as an artist, and I'm looking at your Joker right here. But I'm looking as an artist.